Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I have another adorable happy food for you, and this time it is a raspberry, blackberry type fruit. I know the color will change, but you can do some bright red for a red raspberry, or the blackberries are kind of a very dark purple, but before they turn that dark purple, although they are called blackberries, I don't know, they kind of turn into this kind of purpley color. So I thought the fuchsia from Rainbow Loom worked well for that. And just kind of, I thought it was pretty. So this is, of course, a fruit. So I'm not doing all vegetables in my lovely Happy Food series because I think there's just too many adorable things to make. This guy, of course, is, I will say it's time consuming, but I don't think that it's, super advanced in how it's put together. I would definitely recommend getting a latch hook. I think it'd be easier to make this. The real issue is that to make the nice little nubblies like a blackberry raspberry would have, they're kind of specially wrapped bands. They're not just wrapped bands. Wrapped bands would result in one that looked like this, which isn't quite the effect that I think the raspberry should have. So my little one maybe went a little crazy. Hopefully too many people don't think so. And I will see lots of pictures of these guys on my Instagram or Facebook. But band wise, it's 30 green bands for the top and the little leaf that we make. And then the body itself, with all the bands that are used, it's 238 bands. And then it'd be 3 black bands and 2 pink bands, depending, or 1 black band, or whatever you want for the mouth, and 2 beads. So that's the whole bands that you need, or all of the bands that you need together. The wrapped bands are going to be where, hopefully I won't lose too many of you, because I think that this is adorable. I really do. And the wrapped bands, the reason why I'm a little worried about it is because they are made differently than just regular wrapped bands. This is the latch hook. If you have one of these, they're very helpful. Rainbow Loom hook works just as well. But the wrapped bands that I need you to make, and I need you to make 52 of them. It's a lot, I know, I apologize, but he's adorable. All the things that take a little bit more work are things that are absolutely worth it, and you'll love it when they're done. Just like the broccoli that people have been loving, but it does take some work with the wrap bands. So to make the wrap bands, I'll first show you how I do it on the Rainbow Loom hook, and then I'll show you on the latch hook how I do it on there too, since it is a little bit different, or just kind of moving things around. So what you need to do is 1 band on your hook, wrap it around once, grab both ends, wrap it around again, 1 more band, same thing we just did, wrap it around once, grab both, wrap it around again, another band, we're going to wrap it around once, and this time we're going to pull these 2 bands that we wrapped around on our hook onto the band that we have on the end. Like that. And then put both ends back on the hook. So it's kind of like we're making a little foot almost right now. 4th band and last band, just leave single, and you'll pull it through everything on your hook and just slide it down towards the center. So that's 1 wrapped band for this project. It's a little more involved, but this gives a nice little nubbly effect for the side of the raspberry, blackberry. So that's how you make that on the hook, or the Rainbow Loom hook. On the latch hook, basically the same process. Put on your hook, wrap it around once, twice, another band, do the same thing. I don't know why my latch keeps flying up. So 2 bands on there, third band, put it in the hook, double it, slide the bands down, both ends back on the hook, and I'm pretty sure that most of the ones I've seen you should be able to just slide this all the way down. And then with the latch hook you can preload like I think 6 or 7, maybe even 8 of these on here, and then once you have this all filled up with this, you can take another band, the single band and fourth band, the last one of the little group, and just slide them all off onto the single band. So 52 of these, and then for the eyes, if you do the eyes there, well, I hope you do the eyes, maybe you don't need to do the eyes. It's 2 bands through the bead. 7mm pony bead is what I'm using. To get them through there, you might be able to just thread them through if you're really patient, or if you have a piece of wire or a twist tie, or maybe even a pipe cleaner if it'll fit through the center of your bead, double up together anyways. I make a V out of the wire, put my bands in between, put both ends of the wire through the bead, and just pull it onto the center. So I like that. Or if you want to do the wrapped band, if you don't have any beads, it's just 1 band wrapped around your hook once, twice, and then pull 2 bands through it for your eye. And you do the same thing for the cheek rows as well. So you need 2 of these with a cheek on them, and then you need to have 2 eyes, either with a bead or a wrapped band. And 52 of these kind of mutilated wrapped bands that I did. So you're going to want to pause the video and make 52 wrapped bands like these. And then when you come back, we will get started with the raspberry, blackberry fruit guy, happy guy. Alright, and welcome back. We have my loom here. We are working on 8 pins on the loom. I know Monster Tail has 8 pins. I don't think that this design will work on the Monster Tail. It's too bulky, and it would be, I think you would have a lot of trouble. Some of the other designs, like the carrot and my asparagus, if that's out yet, will be, I think you'd be able to do it on the Monster Tail. But I recommend the loom for this one, most definitely. Working on 8 pins. I'm working on the wrong end of the loom, just because I think it's easier to get to, or because when I put things on and looping them, we're already right there. So what we're going to do first is drop some bands for some puffing that we do. So we're just going to drop 1 band on 8 pins around. So start 1 here at the middle, 3 at the side, back to the middle, and then 3 on the other side. Like that. So once we have that, we're going to need some of our green. And what we're going to do is, it's double banded, and we're just going to kind of work in kind of a half starburst sections here. So this first one will start over here, come out to the left, then straight down, to the right, and then still 2 bands, and then just go up 1 right there. So now we're going to kind of mirror this up here on the other end. But we'll just start in the middle. We'll come back to this pin that we missed, that we haven't used, and then we'll just go around the rest of the starburst. Like so. So kind of half and half. And we will need 2 bands for our end cap. And you can put it on either one, doesn't really matter, because we're going to move it around. 2 bands, wrap it around pretty tight. I'm going to get 4, but I can get 4, but I think it's a bad idea, so going back to 3. 3 or 2.5. What is foiled by the end cap or cap band. I get yelled at a lot about that. It's on the end of the pin, so it's an end cap. But people tell me that it's a cap band. So, I don't know. It's like soda and pop. You know what I mean, so. Alright, so now that we have that on there, we are going to attach the leaf last, or after we're all done with everything, just because the way that this would attach, it just kind of, it didn't sit right if I put it on beforehand, but it's super easy to attach later. It's pretty easy to make too. So, we have this layout here. We're going to go in through our end cap. Grab the top 2 bands and pull them back towards himself all the way around in this little section. Like that. So now what we're going to do is puff out the 4 bands that we have laid down there. What I mean by that is I'm just going to hang on to this band underneath. I'm going to go in through, like I'm going to loop it over, grab it, pull it up, put both ends of it on my hook, and I'm going to take this off the pin and replace what's on my hook onto the pin. And we repeat that for every top around here. And the same here. Like that. So we have this whole end puffed out. There aren't any bands left underneath. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this end cap off carefully, and you're going to stretch it down to the other pin. Like that. If you're having a hard time, you can kind of use the bands here to hold on to the pin. Helps a little bit. But then we're going to do the exact same thing with these bands over here. So go in through the end cap, grab the top 2 bands, which those are not the top 2 bands. There they are. And just pull all these out. Like so. Then we're going to puff as well. So like that. Then you can take this end cap off and just kind of move it over to the center. So it's kind of right there in the middle. So now what we're going to do is use our wrapped bands that we made, hopefully. And you should just be able to grab the bands, and we're going to go all the way around the outside of the circle with them. So just stretch it out with that one single band and put it right over the top of the other bands underneath. And you're just going to do that all the way around. think for making my vegetables, I need to chop one of these looms in half, so it's not quite so big. I'd probably regret that though, so I won't, but it'd be nice. And this is my interpretation of a raspberry blackberry. I know that a true one only has like the 5 petals on top, which kind of look like the top of the raspberry part that comes out, so it's hollow inside. But once you have those on, we're going to flip those over, just the bottom 2 bands all the way around. So there should only be 2 bands left on the pin. So you want to push this down. And I'll say right now that the nubs on the side here, a lot of times they tend to poke in as we're going along. It's perfectly fine. They flip back out the way they're supposed to. Just so you're aware of that, and you're like, get it off, or start going, and you're like, why are they not showing? She's lying to me. She's gonna make me do the whole thing, and then it's gonna look like junk. Alright, so this time I am picking this side to be my face side. You would probably want to do it the same as I do. That would be a good idea. But what we need for that is 6, or for this row we need 6 wrapped bands and 4 regular bands. So on our face side we're going to do 2 regular bands right here, and then the rest of them around will be the wrapped bands. And the last one here. So once we have this, we're going to flip them over. So again, we're going to flip over the bottom 2 all the way around. Bottom 2. Like so. So now for this next row, we're going to start adding some of the face parts. So you're going to need, again, 6 wrapped bands and your eye, either wrapped bands or beads, 2 bands through them. And this is going to go on our face side, right where we put the other single bands there. Well, double bands, but nothing on them. And the rest of them will be the wrapped bands. Oops. Like so. So now this time, when we wrap the bands over, we're going to be wrapping on the face side now. There's 3 bands on the corner pin that need to go over. There will be 4 bands on this middle pin that need to go over. 3 again on the corner. And then the rest of them should have 2 bands to flip over. Like that. He still wants to hide down there. So push everything down again. This row is going to be our cheek row. So we're going to need 6 wrap bands and 2 cheek bands with the 2 bands pulled through with 1 band wrapped around. And again on the face side here, and then the other 6 around. Oh, it's a good thing I made more. Never know. Like so. So the cheek bands, the 6 around. So now in the front, there will be 3 bands on the corner pin to flip over. There will be 4 bands again in the middle. And then on the corner, there will be 3 bands again. And then every other one should have 2 bands to flip over. Like that. So push those down again, and I think you will pop up now. So you can see right here the bands for the nubs on the side are poked in actually, so we'll flip all those out when we're done, and they flip over pretty easily. So now we put the cheeks on, we need to put the mouth on. Black band, or whatever color you want for the mouth. Wrap it around your hook once. And then these 4 bands right here in the middle of the eyes and cheeks, you're going to stick your hook in through there, pull them off the pins, slide your black band down, and then replace the bands back on the pin carefully. And they're coming different directions, so they don't really want to go back on like they should. Like that. So now, next row is going to be the double bands in the front again, the plain bands, and then 6 around. 2 bands. Like that. And the wrapped bands around the rest of the pins. like so. So this time, in the front and the corner, there will be 3 bands to flip over. In the middle, there are the 4 bands. On the other corner is 3 bands, and the rest are 2 bands to flip over. Like so. Pop them up some more here. Okay, so next row is 8 wrapped bands all the way around. Seems wrong. And one more. I hope I don't run out of these because I had too many goof ups to make another one. Alright, so 8 bands around, and we're going to flip these over. Front corner, by the face, there are 3 bands to flip over. The middle, there are 4 bands to flip over. Corner, 3 bands, and the rest are the bottom 2 bands. Like so. Oops, not like so. Like so. So now, our next thing that we're going to do is we're going to reduce this down a little bit on the sides. So how we're going to do that, so we can start on, we're going to do them on the ends first, do a row, reduce again, and then we'll be almost done. So over here on one of the ends, pick up the top band, and you just want to see where it's coming from, because you may wrap differently than I do. So your top band may be coming from the right side. But as I pull on this, you can see that it's coming through from this pin here on the left. So I want to take it over to the right. And then this band, the next one down, the bottom one, that's coming from the right pin, so it needs to go over to the left. And then once you get those up there, it'd be good if you could just kind of make sure that your little nubbly is, well, secured underneath, or that it's not crossed in this and kind of tied in or anything like that. Just so it's either tucked under so it can be flipped over, or up above it. Either way. Do the same thing on the other end. Top band. Lift it up, see where it's coming from. The other band should be coming from the right, so it's going to the left. Like that. So now we're going to add another row. This will have 6 wrapped bands. So 2 in the front by the face. And then you have one that stretches along this side. So from the front pin all the way to the back pin. Like that. Okay. And then two in the back. And the last one on this end over here. Oops. Slippery. So one long one that stretches on each end and then two. So in the front, or in every corner this time, it'll be the bottom three bands that'll flip over. Or except for this one. It's two. How about three on the corners because we reduced the sides. There we go. And this is two. And three. Like so. You pull them up more now. Like I said, you can kind of look and go, they don't look quite the same. So now what we're going to do is, we have one more row to put on of 4, which means we need to reduce one more time. We're going to reduce in the front and the back. So we're going to do the same thing we did before. You're going to grab the top band, lift it up, see where it's coming from. It's coming from this corner up here. So I'm going to go to the other corner and grab the other band, and it should go to the opposite corner. And the same thing in the back. Grab the top band, lift it up, see where it's coming from, which is over here. So it'll go to the opposite corner. And this one will go to the other one. That. So 4 bands left to put on. This one is going to stretch along the front. Then you have one that will stretch along the side. One along the back. And on the other end. Like that. So now we're going to flip over the bottom 3 bands. This time it should all be 3 bands all the way around. And this one. Like so. And when you tug him up, be careful, but he's ready to come off. So you want to grab a band to loop through the bottom. But all we're going to do is stick our hook, starting on the back side somewhere, Stick our hook down through the bands. Get them up on your hook. And you're going to want to be careful. Come over to the other one. I'm holding them down with my thumb here. Come over to the other corner, grab those bands, and those little nubs get in the way, but you want to do a slip knot. And kind of turn it, come up to the front, grab that other corner band, pull it through for the slip knot, and then we have our last one for the slip knot. So it's kind of hard to tell, I think, where the first stitch was, so you're just going to want to kind of guess and stick your hook underneath something in there. Grab a band or two if you like. Pull it through everything on your hook and make a slip knot. And then you can stick your hook down through the top somewhere so that we can hide our wrapped band. Now the fun part. Just start taking your hook and turning all of the little nubblies to the outside. Takes a minute, but they flip out pretty easily. I'm not really even hooking them, I'm just kind of rotating them, if that makes sense. And sometimes it's like feel like they keep going back in. Just grab a hold of them and pull them out. It'll help position them better. There's always one more. But you can, like when it comes off the loom, they're kind of in these straight lines. I don't mind that look, but I mean, of course, a raspberry is more, they're kind of offset a little bit. So you can kind of reposition these to go to the sides. And I don't notice like any big major holes or anything like that. So you can move them around and adjust them, and they fit pretty well. Oops. Pulling bands out. And of course, we want to put our leaf on. I'm just kind of pulling this. We had those puffing bands we put on. We want those to help pull the stem or the top part up so it stays a little bit better. See, there's always one more little nubbly to poke out. So the leaf, if you're interested in making it, it is, how many bands did I say? 14 for the leaf. That's included in the 30 for the green that I talked about before. That's not enough. Where did they go? For what I did for the leaf, I took a band, wrapped it around my hook, basically making a wrap band. So that's one. But then I took another band, looped it, doubled it, pull it through the double wrapped band on my hook, both ends on, like that. And then we want to repeat that 4 more times. They do fit all on the rainbow loom hook, you just have to kind of move them up a little bit. So wrap it once, grab both sides, wrap it twice, take another band, wrap it once, pull it through the other band. But of course I will say this does work better on the latch hook because of the sliding off, so keep keep that in mind. So we just want to make 5 of these in total. One more to go. And then comes the fun part. One band, put on your hook. This is after you have 5 little parts to the leaf. One band, put it on your hook, double it, and then everything on here, on your hook, needs to go over that double band. So if you turn your hook so that it's pointed down, kind of towards the little end cap here, the doubled end cap, and slide it up, it goes a lot better. Just slide all those on there, and of course it's getting tight. Once you get them, turn your hook, hook the other end like that. So now we just have this little part. Grab another band, double it up, pull it through everything on your hook, and then put it back on. And that just makes a cute little leaf. And I put in another band. I think that's all I did was 2. Yes. So once you have this, just kind of, I pick a spot between the bands where they're connected to the puffing bands. So between there, then you'll come up through the end cap, take another band, pull it through everything on your hook, both ends on, and make a slip knot. I think it's cute because it kind of stands up. And then of course the tail up through the bottom, grab it and pull it down. So an adorable raspberry, blackberry for your playing pleasure with all of the fruits and vegetables, because now there's fruit. I don't know. I think these guys are fun. I'm definitely enjoying all the suggestions that people are making for what to make. Trying my best, and who knows, hopefully I'll hit them all, because there's a lot of pretty good ones out there. There always are the limitations that you have on the loom trying to make certain things that makes it a little bit more difficult at times, but definitely working to make everything that people suggest because it's fun and people like it, and I like to make people happy. But I'm loving making these. I hope that you're loving making them. I hope that you're not too freaked out by all of the wrapped bands that I use in this tutorial, because I think that it's I just think it gives it the perfect look, and that's really in the end what makes it worth it to make these. Of course, I don't know if this, I think I'll have the tutorial out for it, but if not, those are my little asparagus guys too. They're adorable too. So one day, this whole video picture is going to be filled up with these. I guarantee it, because I'm really liking making these. They're fun. Gives me a different creative outlet than the bracelets that I make, which I love doing too, but it's fun to change it up every once in a while. And But if you make something that you want me to see with the food, you can hashtag it to feelinspiffy happy food. And there definitely are some very cute pictures up there, so you should take a look at those. Very creative. And I will definitely have more fruits and vegetables and whatever I can imagine with a happy smiley face. But I want to thank you very much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. If you would like to know when I have more stuff coming out, subscribing to my channel would definitely be the best way for that to happen. And I will have more tutorials for you soon. Thank you very much.